Another supplementary note before we start the next section. The next section is very clearly written by multiple authors, but seems to cover or overlap telling the same story, or at least dealing with the consequences. So you may notice here that Theorin is suddenly referred to as Thadorinn in the latter half. I have kept the names the authors chose to use firstly to highlight the differing authorship, but also because of the requirements of the lyrical style and the conventions relating to... Right, you're not interested. Well, in this section, we find Thadene Orillian again rising up against the darkness, which is a consistent theme within the saga. The darkness takes on many forms depending on who is doing the retelling, but generally is agreed to be those forces which in some way oppose the will of the gods, with the exception of our first story where the gods are absent. In this section, we see the arrival of I, Lady of Light and Love, Queen of Pathos Pantheon, and the darkness they fight together. At least in the orthodox versions of the story, and those told by the bards of Turk, are lesser Elysians or Netherin, which seek influence or dominion in realms to which they are forbidden. However, you will see there is no reference to any creature other than the darkness in the fragments of the original, which I am presenting here. Okay. But if you just wanted the recitation, I could have just sent a Cordes. Okay. I'll try to keep them brief. So, the next section. Gleaming goddess, eternal light, I divine, her presence bright, cold to Thay, the wood's defender, sought her aid in realms of men. Troubled times the lands did face, darkness loomed a fearsome threat. United now, these beings of light ventured forth, their fates beset. Golden chariot coursing skyward, borne aloft by steeds of sun. Theorin, courageous guardian, joined with I their journey begun. Through the heavens they swiftly travelled, bound by purpose, sured resolve, to realms of men where shadows gathered, gloomy storms, clouds to dissolve. Mortal hearts beset with fear, desperate cries in chaos drowned. Thay and I their mission clear, to quell the darkness, evil unbound. Stalwart champions, radiant grace, illuminating hope's embrace, their light combined a force unmatched, to face the threat that realms had faced. And as they journeyed side by side, a bond unyielding, sisters true, they swore to stem the tide of dark, to save the realms their quest pursue. Thus Theorin the wood she left, her hearts with purpose, courage filled. For love of kin and realms beyond, the guardian's light, eternal willed. Arriving where the shadows loomed, a land in turmoil, strife and fear, Thay and I their powers merged, to face the darkness growing near. Mighty foes the darkness spawned, monstrous beings chaos bred. Yet undeterred the heroines fought, with radiant light and courage led. Their battle raged for days and nights, a starboard witness sky aflame. To forces clash, a war of might, to save the realms the world reclaim. In the heat of combat fierce, their bond grew strong, their spirits fused. Theorin and I as one, a living light their powers used. Together they unleashed a storm, a tempest of divine intent, a maelstrom made of love and light, to break the darkness, evil spent. With one resounding final blow, the darkness shattered, banished far. Their victory won, the realms restored, by Thay and I, eternal stars. The people praised their Saviour's deed, their hearts ablaze with hope anew, for in their hour of greatest need, these beings of light their strength imbued. And as the realms found peace once more, Theorin, her duty done, returned to wood she cherished dear, her home, her heart where love begun. Yet evermore the legend spoke of Thay and I, a bond unbroken, the guardian and goddess bright, their courage, love, and light unspoken. As peace returned and calm restored, I, Lady of Eternal Light, bade farewell to Thay, her kin, to celestial realms she took her flight. Theorin, her heart now heavy, gazed skyward, her spirit worn, her journey fraught with trials and strife, a lingering darkness deep, forlorn. In the wood she sought her solace, amongst the trees the whispers hushed. Her strength regained, her wounds mending, yet in her heart a darkness clutched. The echoes of the battles past, resounding still within her soul. The weight of loss of lives long gone, a burden hard to let unfold. In quietude her heart did ache, a sorrow gnawing ever near. The dark kernel, buried deep, threatened to awaken dormant fears. The forest sensed her inner turmoil, wrapped her in its tender care, to heal the scars of battle fought, to lift the weight, the pain to bear. In dappled sunlight she reclined, her thoughts adrift, a gentle breeze, whispering hope and memories of love and light her heart did ease. As days turned into weeks and months, the darkness in her heart receded. The strength of nature's healing touch, a balm for wounds so sorely needed. Thadene, her spirit mending, emerging from her trials refined. A guardian of the sacred wood, her light now brighter, undefined. Though memories of darkness lingered, her heart now carried wisdom's seed, for in the shadows of her journey, she found the strength to rise, succeed. And in the days of yore, when legends grew, Thadene, guardian fair and true, with light that pierced the deepest gloom, embarked on quests her strength to prove. Her heart now called to eye divine, in hopes the goddess would align. Yet silence met her fervent plea, to face the dark alone resigned. In distant lands where whispers dwell, the kingdom of the wisps, it said. A shadow loomed, a darkness fell, a challenge waiting to be met. With steadfast heart Thadene went, to face the darkness unbeknownst, her light a beacon burning bright, a solitary force unbound. In realms of mist and subtle hues, the wisps observed her brave advance, the tiny lights like flickering stars, intrigued by Thadene's steadfast stance. Her journey led through shifting mists to where the shadows tightly clung, yet Thadene, undeterred, with courage faced the dark headstrong. The battle raged, her light against the darkness that would not relent, yet Thadene, her spirit fierce, stood firm, her will unbroken bent. In this new trial she found her strength, her light alone to banish night, for in her heart a wisdom grew to face the dark and be the light. And so Thadene, guardian fair, prevailed against the shadow's might. The wisps now free, their grateful song, a tribute to her courage bright. At last the silence broke, and soft, as voice resounded in her heart, a bittersweet reunion felt, as Thad, her soul ached torn apart. She longed to feel the goddess's warmth, their bond a memory cherished still, yet deep within a spark of hurt, her trials faced alone a bitter pill. Thad wrestled with her heart's desire for I, her sister, friend and guide, but in the shadow of her trials resentment bloomed, refused to hide. Their journey shared, the past now seemed a distant dream, a memory. For Thad had found her strength alone, in darkness faced her spirit free. I sensed the conflict in her heart, the pain and longing intertwined. With gentle words she sought to mend the chasm that had grown unkind. My dearest Thad, forgive my silence. In realms unknown my light was bound. Yet know, my love, you were not forsaken. In every trial my heart I've found. These words a balm to Thadene, yet still her heart's confusion reigned. To reconcile her love and hurt, a battle yet to be contained. And so with time and quiet reflection, Thad sought to understand her plight, for in the absence of her kin she found her strength, her inner light. Ambivalence, a fleeting wisp, would ebb and flow within her soul, but in the end her love for I would guide her heart and make her whole. We can see again and again this mirroring of the battle with the darkness outside and the battle of the darkness inside. And we can see her burgeoning relationship with the goddess I is already facing tensions. And even in the earliest sections of the story, we see the scars of battle refusing to heal and a coldness and hardness growing within her. It's again and again nature which nurtures her back to strength and which comforts her. The comforts of home which allow her to push on through and recover from her trials and return to the light of I. This is why the next section is so important, this idea of home and of of a return to nature. So I'll get right into that. As Thadene returned to her home, a sight of horror met her gaze. For in the woodland dragons roamed, their fiery breath ablaze. Her home, her haven, now destroyed by scales and talons burning bright. The creatures razed it to the ground and took to wing a fearsome sight. Thad's heart ached with a searing pain, her spirit crushed, her soul undone. For in the ruins of her home she found her trials anew begun. With tears and anger she lamented the loss of all she held so dear. But in her heart a strength emerged, a determination crystal clear. For in her heart the woodland lived, the creatures, trees, and whispering winds. Their essence still alive and strong, their beauty still within her kin. And so with heart and soul renewed, Thadene faced the dragon's might. Her light, a beacon shining bright, against the darkness burning bright. With every blow her spirit surged, her light a force to be reckoned with. The dragons fell, their power spent, their reign of terror put to an end. And as the flames of battle died, the woodland wept, and Thad did too. For in her heart she knew the cost of trials faced and love renewed. But in the ruins of her home a new beginning still took hold. For Thad, the guardian, ever strong, would face the darkness, brave and bold. With steely resolve Thadene marched to where the dragons made their lair. For in her heart the truth emerged, a poisoned mind she must repair. And as she reached the dragon's den, their fiery breath an ominous sign, Thad steeled herself, her light ablaze, to face the darkness head on. But as she entered, ready to fight, a strange sensation did arise. For in her mind a voice so bright sought to still her, calm her eyes. An aeon, ancient, wise and old, stood before her in the dragon's lair, its power strong, its will unbowed, a vision of light beyond compare. But as Thad gazed into its eyes, she saw the darkness lurking there, a poison tainting every thought, corrupting dragons with despair. And as she faced the aeon's power, a fury raged within her soul. For in her heart she knew the truth, the dragon's mind, the aeon's goal. With strength and courage undeterred, Thad fought the darkness with all her might. Her light a force to be reckoned with, her heart a warrior in the night. And as the battle raged and roared, Thad struck out in anger true. For in her heart a love remained, for the woodland and the creatures too. Her rage a fire burning bright, a flame that banished darkness deep. The aeon's hold, the poison's might, a victory Thadene did reap. And so with dragons now at peace, their minds now free from darkness grim, Thadene, her heart ablaze, brought light and hope where all seemed dim. As Thadene emerged from the den, the aeon's poison now undone, her heart at peace, her soul renewed, by battles fought and darkness shunned. Yet in her heart a nagging guilt, a secret she could not reveal, for in her battle with the aeon, a lie she crafted to conceal. For in her heart a love of I that ran too deep to cause her pain. And so Thad told a half-truth, a fiction to ease the strain. She told of dragons fierce and bold, their wrath unleashed upon the aeon. A lie that hurt and broke her heart, but saved her love from grief unknown. And as I listened to her tale, her eyes ablaze with ancient light, she sensed the half-truth in Thad's words, a burden borne with all her might. Yet still she chose to play along, her heart too full of love and grace. For in the end she knew the truth, and in her heart she found her place. For in the darkness of her trials, Thadene her light shone bright, and in her heart I knew the cost of love that burned with purest light. So I mentioned earlier that when we're dealing with the darkness, it is very rare to hear a creature named. But in this passage we have both dragons and aeons, celestials and Elysians. I draw this to your attention because what is important here is that Thay, or Thad, or Thadene, whatever we're calling her in this passage, chooses to lie to her goddess about the darkness of the aeon. She tells I that the dragon slew the celestial creature rather than admit that she saw darkness in the aeon's eyes. And my interpretation, or at least that of the Odean school, is that this is where we already see Thadene Orillian seeing darkness where there is none, and where her own perception of good and evil begins to warp and become twisted by her own anger and rage. The anger and rage caused by the loss of her home, the loss of her comfort, of those things which she really cares about. And we can see this in this section where Thadene strikes out in anger for the first time, and where her love of I is used as a mask for her own shame. Yeah. Well, I think this is a good place to pause for refreshments because my throat is parched. And we have a new author, a new name, a new style in the next segment. Yeah. Could I get a water and a Preskin, if that's possible?